The Battle of Tagat. France's forgotten stand in the Sahara, August 1903, 470. Legionnaires in a remote Saharan fort surrounded, could they hold against 4,000 warriors? Setting the scene by the early 20th century, France had expanded deep into North Africa. Algeria was no longer just a colony, it was an integral part of the French Empire. But that dominance came at a price. In the remote south, far from Algiers, tribes resisted the French occupation with increasing ferocity. Tagat nestled on the edge of the Grand Erg Occidental Desert. The town of Tagat stood as a lonely outpost surrounded by dunes and palm groves. Its strategic position made it a key checkpoint for Saharan patrol routes and a symbol of French presence in the region. The garrison at Tagat consisted mostly of soldiers from the French Foreign Legion, hardened men from across Europe, deserters, adventurers, and outcasts bound by a code of discipline, training, and loyalty. The gathering storm, rising tensions flared in mid-1903. Local tribes in the south, long hostile to the French, were inspired by both religious fervor and tribal solidarity. Skirmishes became common. The tribes viewed the French not as protectors, but invaders. The rebel leader, while there was no single centralized rebel leader, the attack was largely coordinated by tribal confederations, including the Oudzeria and the Zinaga. Their aim: expel the French from the Sahara, beginning with the most isolated fort. The siege begins. In late August, nearly 4,000 warriors on horseback, armed with old rifles and sabers, converged on Tagat. They hoped to overwhelm the garrison through numbers and siege tactics. The Battle of Tagat, the initial assault. The siege began with hit-and-run attacks. The tribes targeted supply lines and attempted to set fire to the palm groves surrounding the fort. Legionnaires responded with precision rifle fire from defensive positions atop the stone walls. Challenges and hardships, supplies dwindled. The heat was punishing. Water became scarce, and with every passing day, the defenders grew more exhausted. Still, the legionnaires held their positions, rotating watch shifts and patching the walls between attacks. Turning points. On August 17th, after days of siege, the attackers launched a full frontal assault. It nearly succeeded. But a final volley from the legionnaires' machine guns and a coordinated bayonet charge forced the attackers to fall back. Reinforcements were rumored to be en route enough to make the tribes reconsider a prolonged siege. The aftermath and legacy, the outcome. After more than a week under siege, the attackers retreated. The Legion held the fort. Estimated French casualties were under 40. The tribal losses, likely several hundred. But more than just bodies. The battle revealed the fragile grip France had over its southern territories. Historical significance. The Battle of Tagat was one of several clashes that would define the brutal nature of France's southern Saharan campaign. Though ultimately a tactical victory for France, it marked the beginning of greater unrest and deeper divides. Legacy. Today, the battle is commemorated mainly in Legion lore and a few obscure French military archives. In Algeria, it is remembered differently as a symbol of early resistance against colonial control, a forgotten siege, a test of willpower, a colonial echo in the sands of the Sahara. What other battles rewrote history and then vanished? Subscribe for more turning point conflicts on battlefield pivots, and check the description to learn more about the French Foreign Legion.